JackeyLove has only played Senna so far in the group stages, but I think that he is probably the best Senna that I think I've seen in the world. He is still hyper aggressive on the champion, showcases what you really can do with the champ, even at early levels.
Do you want to know some cool JackeyLove on Senna stats?
I believe you have some.
Yesterday, he did 49.6% of his team's total damage to enemy champions.
Yes.
On Senna.
Now, I will say, when playing with a Nocturne mid, that may have been skewed by the fact that Nocturne doesn't do a lot of damage.
We could say that. You know what would clarify it? His damage per minute numbers, Vedius.
It would.
He did 905 damage a minute, which was 200 damage a minute more than the closest Senna at this world. So yes, it was skewed, but Vedi, this guy is a monster.
Yes, he is. And that's the key takeaway here. JackeyLove, I still believe, is the best Senna player in the world. Hyper aggressive on a champion that many typically play to scale, and the 2v2 is where he is most deadly. But perhaps the Unicorns of Love have prepared for this. Perhaps they know that the Senna is going to come out. Perhaps they want to pick the Karthus into that Senna. Let's wait and see as the Unicorns of Love are looking to lock in that final pick.
Just a small smirk on the face there as they look for this final pick. Lee Sin is the hover. And it's going to be AHaHaCiK taking the Lee Sin jungle. So, AP in the bottom lane in the form of Karthus alongside Nautilus. AP in the mid lane in the form of Syndra. And then some physical damage on the top side of the map with Lee Sin jungle and Camille top.
Now, of course, Medic, we've seen this quite a few times domestically. The EU Masters, they've been playing a lot of Karthus bot lane. They've been playing all kinds of crazy stuff down the bot lane, but as you rightly said, Gadget, it could also still be the Syndra bot lane. We still have to wait and see what that final lock-in is. Will the Swippy swap come on through? I really think they should keep the Syndra mid as the answer to the Lucian.
I agree with that. I think yes.
Okay, yes.
Just a final moment swap there.
Yes, so we're going to get to see the Karthus bot. This is going to be very exciting. Hyperscaling AP champion that, in theory, could match up well into the Senna, because what we'd normally say is Senna doesn't pressure you that hard during the laning phase, but this is no ordinary Senna. This is, of course, JackeyLove Senna. So we shall see how Gadget fares in the bot lane. It's going to be an exciting one. UOL are reverting back to utilizing some of their innovative drafts to try and get a big upset win over one of the tournament favorites.
And it would be a huge upset, as you say, Vedius. First time for the CIS region on the group stage of Worlds since Albus Nox Luna all those years ago. And we all remember just how incredible Albus Nox were, making it to quarterfinals in 2016. Beating out CLG 2-0, taking a game off G2, taking a game off Rox Tigers. This would be as Herculean a task as the one accomplished by Albus Nox all those years ago. Of course, top esports on the other side, looking to make it 3-0 in their group. We've only ever seen one team go 3-0 and not make it through the group stage, C9 back in 2015. So the expectation is top esports continue to solidify themselves as a favorite in the tournament if they can complete this round robin undefeated.
Certainly is the case. We're going to be jumping into Game Medic. I'm very excited to see how this early game plays out. Syndra plus Lee Sin has always been considered a strong 2v2 mid jungle, and if you're willing to be aggressive, you can get a lot off the back of it. Of course, you're playing against a Lucian Gragas. The thing about Lucian is he's just so powerful in the early laning phase, sometimes you can't take advantage of some of your strong 2v2 matchups, so we'll see how they do. And of course, you have to keep your eyes on the top lane matchup as well. Jax into Camille. When you speak to many top laners, they'll actually tell you the early laning phase is actually quite a skill-intensive matchup, and the better top laner can actually come out ahead on either side. So we'll see how Boss holds his own against 369, who is considered one of the best top laners in the world. I love the meme that he either rolls a 3, a 6, or a 9, depending on his performance, and we'll see what he brings to the table today.
Do love those D&D references here in the LEC, well, as part of the LEC caster team. And Unicorns of Love looking for a level 1. We have seen a lot of these Vedius. It feels like level 1 has kind of dictated the pace of a lot of games across the course of Worlds, and it becomes increasingly more important to spot out the enemy jungler and perhaps take some of these skirmishes.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's a... Well, actually, what do I think? I think that... Well, I was going to say that I would be a little worried about Karthus invading early. However, Karthus probably has one of the best level 1s in the game because of how much damage his Q can actually do. The problem is the amount of mana that you would end up investing to actually make that happen. And I wonder if he wants to do that. But let's have a look at Gadget here. You can see that he is sitting on this ward right now as Santos is assisting with the pull. Perhaps he just wants to get a little bit of early poke down. Notice that he is running the Dark Harvest. Yeah, he's just looking to get a little bit of damage, zoning away the okay, he's just being really obnoxious. But that's that level 1 damage that I was talking about. They obviously didn't go for the invade, but delaying them getting into lane, allowing Santos to get that first hit means that Gadget and Santos should actually be able to get this early push here, which is going to be very valuable for the 2 versus 2.
Hook just goes wide as Santos doesn't quite connect onto Yuyanjia, who's been chunked down to about half HP. We'll bring to your attention that Tahm Kench once again is running Hail of Blades here for the extra ability to stack up Devour quickly.
We did see that from Mickey in the G2 game yesterday, and it can be quite oppressive in the early laning phase. But against this Karthus and, I'm forgetting the name, Karthus and Nautilus bot lane, not a normal bot lane that obviously we usually see. Yeah, I'm curious as to how it's going to work out. Obviously means it's very easy to apply those passive stacks from the Tahm Kench and then get those secondary effects. You'll notice that he is running the Exhaust as well, so perhaps mitigating some of that early playmaking power that this bot lane could have with Gadget and Santos.
Knight's going to get knocked back here with the Scat of the Week. Karsa stepping in towards the Unicorns of Love jungle just above him. Going to steal away these Razor Beaks. Knight got pushed on the early waves and was able to get that ward in there. Hook's going to land in the bottom lane, but Santa's forced away. Last Embrace, very good at disengaging the Nautilus because you don't want to be overstepped as you get lassoed up.
You can see that Gadget and Santos keeping the pressure up though. I think that they want this wave to bounce back because you'll notice that AHaHaCiK is up towards the top side of the map clearing out his Krogs. This is going to force 369 to reset because there's a real risk of... Ooh, he's actually cancelled that. This is a great opportunity for UOL.
AHaHaCiK going in, boss going to land the stun. 369 has the flash, has the counter strike. He's going to dodge a few shots, gets the double stun off, but AHaHaCiK is still on the chase and first blood to the Unicorns.
Really nicely done there with AHaHaCiK as we see a stun come through onto Knight, but Nomanz, of course, running a teleport, not going to have a kill threat of something like an Ignite, and we'll just get a bit of chip damage. But what was great there from AHaHaCiK was how he used the ward to fake out the Q usage, and even if 369 flashed, he could still chase him down. So honestly, just really smart play there coming in from the Lee Sin to help get that first blood for UOL.
Now AHaHaCiK is just shadowing around this mid lane. Knight is quite low. Nomanz has the stun. Karsa's down towards the bottom side, looking for the counter gank, or perhaps just a gank of his own, as Knight relentlessly pursues his turret. Goes back. There's the Scat of the Week, and AHaHaCiK looking for the Sonic Wave. Won't be there in time, and Karsa has parted his way down towards the bottom scuttle to make sure he can get both of those on this first rotation.
Now, some of you, like me, may have been thinking, why didn't AHaHaCiK flash in and Q the Lucian to get that execute? That's because, unlike me, AHaHaCiK recognized that Knight had heal, and I would have died in that play. But fortunately, AHaHaCiK is smarter than me and didn't overcommit, and instead was just there to cover, but now Nomanz could be in danger.
Yeah, Knight uses the heal for a bit of extra movement speed. Nomanz flashes away. Karsa, though, can still chase this, misses on the barrel roll, and so Nomanz will just be able to retreat back towards his own jungle.
Notice that Nomanz was forced to flash the moment that Karsa used his E because there was the risk that Karsa could flash and then E at the very end as Santos does land a hook.
Gonna get the route onto Yuyanjia here, and AHaHaCiK is on the way as well. JackeyLove trying to heal himself up. Yuyanjia caught out. There's the heal. JackeyLove forced back as AHaHaCiK goes very low. Last Embrace doesn't quite connect, and Santos will be able to dredge line to safety.
Will force a lot of summoner spells out from the top esports bot lane though, and I like this aggression that we're seeing from AHaHaCiK. Constantly looking for ganks on the Lee Sin. It's largely what you need to do, trying to get your laners ahead, and when going up against a team like top esports, getting those early advantages is going to be extremely valuable because as this comp gets later into the game, once they complete their major core items, you know this comp is only going to get scarier. So I respect this aggression coming out from UOL, definitely something that they need to do, and while they didn't get a kill in that bot lane play, it sets them up for a kill a little bit later on. Gadget working towards that level 6 mark where he's going to have so much more power because of his ultimate.
Unicorns of Love were a very fast-paced team in their home region. Almost a kill a minute in their games on average, Vedius, so it's unsurprising that they are trying to be as explosive as possible here. Gadget fell just a little bit behind in CS as an AHaHaCiK has been spotted on a ward on this top side. Looks like he's just shadowing Nomanz. Santos is here as well, so perhaps looking to see if they could catch out Knight, but the Lucian still has his dash, still has his flash. It's a very difficult mid laner to gank.
Props to Nomanz, though. I was a little concerned about him going into this matchup because he really did struggle yesterday against Power of Evil, but he has got himself a CS advantage in the 1 versus 1. I think that the assistance that AHaHaCiK was able to provide for him really helped him. And we can see that you're actually sitting at a small gold advantage. Probably not going to mean a huge amount over the next few minutes, but it does mean that you can see double longsword completed for Boss, working closer towards that Tiamat. And one of the cool things I do like about Camille is that once you get the early Tiamat, you get a little bit more pushing power. She can look for roams into the mid lane. And when you have a Lee Sin plus Camille plus Syndra, that's how you kill the Lucian. So I definitely think that there are options there for UOL if they're up for keeping that aggression going.
Right now, Knight is just going to force Nomanz back underneath his tower. We've seen Gadget recall. He went Sorcerer's Shoes and Amplifying Tome as Unicorns of Love look to utilize the fact that 369 does not have his flash. Now, 369 has the ult, has the Counter-Strike available. There's the Sonic Wave, the dash in with a hookshot. Hexagon coming out as AHaHaCiK looks to jump back into this fight. 369, very healthy, empowered auto attack. And AHaHaCiK feels the brunt of 369. Boss now trying to trade, but 369 is having none of this. In a 2v1, the Dawning Shadow to help him out. Chases down Boss. Corrupting Potion's not going to be enough damage.
Wow. I was looking at that play and thinking, AHaHaCiK is only level 5. There's a real world where he could die here. No flash on Nomanz.
Karsa flashes in and knocks him back with the barrel, and top esports get 2 quick kills. Here's the Requiem though, and Knight can really only pray to some miracle to keep him alive.
Okay, so UOL are at the very least able to get something back. Now they're going for the all-in bot.
Hook lands onto JackeyLove. Yuyanjia there to gobble him up and spear him out. Karsa's very low though as an AHaHaCiK looks for the kill. He's ticking away, but Karsa with the refillable potion will keep himself healthy enough.
Wow, okay, so a lot of aggression across the board, and props to 369. When I was looking at that gank, the first thing I thought of was AHaHaCiK is not level 6. Yep. Lee Sin without completed warrior enchant, honestly, not that scary. So I love the fact that 369 recognized if he just focuses his 1v1 onto AHaHaCiK, he can win this. The problem for AHaHaCiK is he realized too late that he shouldn't re-engage here. The cooldowns on Jax's Q and W are not that long, and he was able to get that turnaround, and he almost got this extra 1v1 as well, if it wasn't for the fact that Boss just got his E up in time. You can see how low he actually got there, so very well played there by 369. Gonna make that matchup a lot easier for him now that he's completed the phage.
The stacking passive, the extra attack speed you get on Jax as you auto-attack enemies, and the Empower just do so much work in fights like that. You get an Empower off every 3, every 4 seconds, you can just shred through your opposition, and when we see 369 get the Trinity Force, get the Sheen, that's only going to become even more of a terror. JackeyLove here trading in the bottom lane, knows that Gadget doesn't have a huge amount of mana, so can be pretty aggressive. Nomanz trying to push out here, but you can see top esports once again look to see if they can find a gank. Instead, Karsa will go up towards the top side. Can just look for the Rift Herald himself as Unicorns of Love are going to start up the Dragon.
So this will be the first Drake of the game. Of course, ever since we've moved into international competition, average Drakes have kind of moved much later and later, largely because the bot lane matchups have been a little bit harder, and also AP junglers as well. Don't quite take it as fast as many others do, or previous junglers did in the past. So we can see just a trade in objectives. I think that Karsa quite quickly recognized, hey, because our bot lane needs to reset, there's a good chance that UOL will look to take the first Drake, so we'll just trade this objective, and nothing is really gained or lost for either side. This will, of course, mean that top esports have the ability to secure a bunch of plates. They can check that top side if they want, try and funnel more gold and resources into 369, or they can use it in the mid lane to try and break open that early tower. They kind of have a lot of options. Meanwhile, UOL, they're going to be working towards that potential for Drake win condition as they continue to scale and ramp up throughout this game.
Something we can see that's developed over the last few minutes of action are some CS leads for top esports. 15 farm ahead for 369 in the top lane. Jungle difference of about 16, so that's about 4 jungle camps. And then in the bottom lane, JackeyLove, so consistent on this Senna, is actually 25 CS up over Gadget right now.
Yeah, again, very good Senna player.
Probably the best in the world.
Yeah, probably. We'll upgrade his to
Manamune?
He will upgrade to the Manamune, rather, is what I was trying to say. You'll also notice that the Hex String has been picked up by Knight very early on. Makes a lot of sense when the main damage dealers you have to be worried about right now are Nomanz and Gadget. No major objectives are available, but UOL going to use their pushing mid to steal away some of these camps. And AHaHaCiK going to abandon his top side for the time being to try and deny a bit of farm away from karsa. But you'll notice that karsa also has a CS advantage of his own. While AHaHaCiK has been trying to make a lot of ganks happen and been proactive on the map, karsa's been focusing on stealing away a couple camps and farming through his own jungle.
And another thing you'll notice is how much Santa's is not in bottom lane now. Because the Karthus can farm relatively safe from distance, he's actually teaming up a lot more with an AHaHaCiK and with Nomanz to make sure they can try and get some prio in the mid lane. And AHaHaCiK lands the Q, looking for the kick, but the Devourer will stop him. And that's just the safety of Tahm Kench in the bottom lane there. Top Esports knowing their limits and knowing exactly where they can be in the lane to make sure they get out safely.
karsa just hovering around the top side, and here comes the Lucian. Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, I don't think they're going to dive this yet. I feel like that the wave isn't stacked up enough, but this is the window that they were looking for. Of course, Knight should be spotted. Boss knows this is coming. Let's see if he can outplay.
Teleport immediately from Nomanz. Knight's going to get jumped on. The Hexagon ultimatum knocks him back as well. Nomanz looking for the damage, but there's the explosive cast, and Nomanz has to flash across the wall, and Boss just doesn't have the DPS to kill Knight. Cullen comes out, doesn't hit anyone, but Boss is bonked in the head by 369. The Rift Herald now used in the top lane, and that's going to be an awful amount of gold for Top Esports.
It's just not fair, Medic. How can they be that good at outplaying that situation? UOL are going to try and make this cross-map play. Let's see if they can at the very least get something back.
Yuyanjia is the one who's first. Hook, Sonic Wave coming out. Depth charge used, but here's the counter TP as 369 can join this fray. He's gone back to base. He's got more items, and with the counter strike, he doesn't quite get onto Santos. Santos has to burn the flash to escape.
I feel like he's rolled a 9, Medic.
Yep.
Like right now, Top Esports are just outplaying everything that UOL is trying to do, and the counter play on that dive was just so clean because UOL knew this was coming. That control ward in the tri-bush, it gave them information that Top Esports was looking for this play up towards the top side of the map. But they knew that there was a TP available on Nomanz. They could actually try to outplay it. Here, notice that Boss locks up Knight initially. They think we can burst him, but then watch karsa here. Uses the knock-up, and they both immediately burst onto Nomanz. Then the Senna ultimate comes through. Nomanz thinks that he's getting the outplay onto Knight, but he doesn't even get to play the game. Meanwhile, Knight is just drawing attention away, and they're able to get the outplay. Just really smart target focus there to help turn that dive around.
Nomanz never got a chance to use his ultimate.
Oh, he didn't even use it?
Never got a chance to use the Unleashed Power because he was CC chained from the get-go. And those are the small things that really influence a game like this. You can see now Top Esports can step into this Unicorn's jungle. 800 gold from plates to 0. All of that taken in the top lane. And Top now have a almost 4,000 gold lead Vedius. Trinity Force complete on 369. You said he rolled a 9. If this isn't a 9, I'm blooming well scared for when he rolls a 9, right? I don't want to be the top lane on the other side of that.
What if this is a 6, you know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. Gadget now caught underneath the tower. Yuyanjia coming across. JackeyLove using those long-range autos, and Knight just comes in for the double shot and the kill. Yuyanjia didn't pop the thick skin, and maybe could have survived if he had.
He could have survived. He definitely could have there. So, bit of a misplay, but ultimately, TES get what they want, which is the kill onto Gadget. He's not going to have teleport available to him, which means that JackeyLove can push this wave underneath the tower. Is he going to play the tower, or is he going to look to reset? Let's have a look. Looks like that the tower is his objective, as he knows that you are on the top side of the map.
And karsa is able to go and get this dragon to stop any possibility of Unicorn stacking those up. Soul Point so long away now for the Unicorns. And I think this is kind of the expectation for this game, where Unicorns had a good few forays. They won a few battles, but the war of attrition has very much been won so far by Top Esports, and it's going to be so hard for the Unicorns now at a deficit to find avenues to approach this game.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to say that UOL have a scaling advantage, I feel like given the power of 369 having the edge in this matchup now, it's going to be so much harder for him to be stopped in a side lane. You then have to deal with Knight on the other side lane, who no one can really answer outside of maybe the Camille and Syndra holding him. On top of that, you'd say, well, maybe Gadget could be the late game insurance. Like, maybe, but you've also then got JackeyLove on the Senna, who kind of has infinite scaling. You know what I'm talking about? And because of how aggressive he is on the champion, he reaches those points much later as the engage comes in from karsa.
And all it takes is a single misstep. Like, AHaHaCiK thought he was safe. He's got ward jump. He can try and get out. And immediately he's just burst down. karsa with the flash engage. And there is just nothing you can do about that apart from not be in your own jungle.
The aggression is not slowing down. Yuyanjia needs to be careful because he has no flash, but with the cover of Knight, he's going to be able to walk away to safety. JackeyLove continuing to pressure onto this mid-tier one, going to take it down to half. Meanwhile, 369, I believe he is currently doing the Rift Herald by himself, and we'll just wait for Karsa to bop on by, smite that one away, and Top Esports find themselves with another objective.
It just becomes harder and harder every moment for the Unicorns of Love. Top Esports, though, showing us their caliber, showing us a little bit of class so far this game. As you said, JackeyLove stacking up, has the Yumu's Ghostblade complete now, also at 29 stacks, so has already got that first upgrade on the Senna.
It's the fact that he has 168 CS at 16 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yep.
Like that, you don't see many Sennas doing that. Like it's typically much harder to last it, of course, because you have that, you know, locked in auto attack speed. Like generally, it's generally harder to play her in the AD carry position, but Jackie just does it flawlessly. It's always a treat. Of course, he's gotten the champion every single game in group stages so far. We haven't even gotten to see him on some of his other champs, and I'm sure that will be a pleasure as well. You can see that the large amount of gold sits on Knight. He's been able to pick up a fair number of plates, and he's been doing very well in the 1v1.
I think you can just say a large amount of gold sits on Top Esports, Vedius. Like,
Correct.
4 of the top 5 players in this game are Top Esports players, and there is a gap between the jungler and the mid laner of 400 gold.
Yuyanjia really letting the side down. Yep. You know what I mean? Come on.
Man, this is supports for you, okay? Underappreciated as per usual.
You mean just baggage? That's what you mean? Just sitting at the bottom?
He did nothing. He just kept his AD carry completely safe in the lane, made sure no one could ever kill him. Supports. Anyway, Top Esports going to use the Rift Herald in the mid lane here to try and batter down at this tier 1. It goes. And now they have a 5,000 gold lead. 2 minutes on the next Drake if they want to set up for that, but they can just keep this ball rolling and keep Shirley smacking into these turrets for at least one more. Unicorns of Love need to be careful because the explosive cask is available for Karsa, and we've already shown how precise he can be with that. Nomanz, you've overstacked. Oh, he dodges it just to the side. Karsa puts it a little bit too far behind. The Unicorns of Love now looking to engage on 369. Sonic Wave flashed away from Top Esports, overstepped just a tad.
Yes, they certainly do. Now, this is a common trait with Top Esports. They are very much about pushing to the limit of going for objectives, whether it be Drakes, Heralds, Towers. They'll always make sure that they'll go as far as they possibly can until they recognize, okay, we've pushed it a little bit too far, then they'll look to disengage. And there's another example, 369, he should be safe though. I mean,
he might just be able to win this. The depth shot's gonna lock him up. There's the counter-strike. He dives onto AHaHaCiK and he just kills him. 369 still trading. Gadget trying to land the lay waste. Can't do it. It's a double for 369. It's 6-12-18 there in the top lane as Top Esports find 2 in a 1v4.
I don't think that UOL realized that they rolled a 1 looking to make that play happen because, man, 369, the power of this Jax with the Trinity Force completed as well. And AHaHaCiK thought that he and the Nautilus would be enough combined with Gadget showing up to be able to get that kill, but he just bought so much time. Then the Senna ultimate came through and that gave him just enough shielding to be able to get that additional kill as well. And off the back of that, Knight is going to secure a tier 2 in the bot lane as well. Beautiful stuff from the top laner of Top Esports.
But he was a little bit greedy going for the Scuttle Crab, which is why he was slightly out of position in the first place. TP coming in behind here is 369. Well, he can smell blood in the water, as can the rest of Top Esports. Might be gifted over to JackeyLove. It is, as he secures the kill. Gadget trading here on tonight. Exhaust goes down onto the Lucian, but he can just dash away. And Wall of Pain will connect. Knight has a blast cone here, so this is going to be just chip damage down as the Baron has been started up by Top. And an R6 starting his red buff and realizes perhaps Top Esports are on the major objective. Yuyanjia's going to gobble away the red. Don't need that Devourer for saving your teammates or anything as the fight goes on.
No!
369 steals it. And now perhaps Unicorns of Love realize that Top Esports are in the Baron pit. They gave the game away just a tad there, Vedius, as the Unicorns of Love come across and Top Esports disengage the Baron.
Oh my word, the red buff was just BM Top Esports, come on. The ulti going to come through from Karsa, they're going to push in mid. I think that they should look to reset right now, or maybe even go for the Drake rather, because forcing that Baron very early on is of course very dangerous. The death time is still quite short. UOL in a position to answer and maybe come back into this game if they could steal that one away, but that option will not be given to them.
I mean, I think they had it if they didn't go for the red buff, I'll be honest. I think if they didn't have 369 jump over there, it was just Yuyanjia messing around with AHaHaCiK, they could have taken it. The wall of pain coming down here in the mid lane as the dragon goes across towards top esports. Yuyanjia's actually stepping forward. Gadget exhausted. Gadget's just dead. Does have the Requiem, but there's no real lasting damage yet on top. Yuyanjia's the one caught out. Thick skin, not pop. Dredgeline coming out as well as JackeyLove tries to turn the damage back around. Knight now dashing forward. Last embrace gonna hit onto Santos, but Boss dives in with a Hexic Ultimatum. Gets one, gets a double. JackeyLove turns it back around. JackeyLove survived through the Unleashed power, and here comes the Dawning Shadow as 369 dives onto the backline. Only Santos and AHaHaCiK left alive. 369 gets one, and JackeyLove's looking for the second. 369 is going to chase down this jungler as quickly as he can.
I think this was a good window for UOL to actually punish top esports, because again, we see top esports trying to take more than they really should. They were taking mid farm and they were taking Drake at the same time, and they were split. And that was UOL's best opportunity to actually force a fight. And they got a number of kills. I think they got a fair number of shutdowns. And again, you can see with the Jax in the bot lane, no teleport available on him, the Drake only just being completed. Initially, yes, while the Karthus does die, he still has his ultimate, so they know they can commit to the fight. It's at this point that I think UOL overstep. Yes, they end up trading 1-for-1. They should be pretty happy with this, but they want to commit. They get that kill on tonight. Then JackeyLove answers back. He's forced to flash out. Really good interrupt there from Santos onto 369. But you can see that at the end of this fight, it is top esports that end up coming out ahead overall. So good attempt from UOL, execution not quite there, and it means the top esports still sit in control.
And that's one of the things I love about the Unicorns of Love is even if they're going to go down, they go down kicking and screaming. They will take these fights. They will look for these plays. They are still, 6,000 gold behind in this game. Death Dance is almost complete for 369 as Knight and Karsa look for Boss in the top lane. Karsa's popped the Predator. Boss pops the hook shot, but here comes Knight. Just needs those auto attacks. The Hexic Ultimatum has been used by Boss. Karsa able to pop the stopwatch, and top esports get another kill. But here's the secondary front of the fight, and we keep seeing top do this. Santos engaged onto Yuyanjia, and here comes AHaHaCiK trying to dive onto JackeyLove. The Sonic Wave, not quite enough damage. He dashes forward with the safeguard. Santos now targeting the backline, but the shutdown comes down, and that's two quick kills. Here's 369 though, and he's not happy that you just killed his teammates. Another two goes over to Knight, and Santos, the last man left standing. He is hoping for some way out of this, but 369 is having none of it.
UOL trying to make this game closer than it is, but it feels like that the gap is just too big. Top esports are so insanely strong, and while I respect UOL kind of doing what they can, really, like just trying to force fights, trying to get shutdowns, trying to get XP by killing people who are a higher level than you, it's unfortunately not resulting in anything. And it is always 369 coming in at the end of these fights to clean things up. Top esports now going to secure the Baron. All 5 members are going to get it as well. And now it's just a matter of time, unless UOL can make a huge miracle happen.
And of course you get the 1,500 gold straight away from the Baron, but I expect this Red Bull Baron power play to snowball away from Unicorns.
So, let's have a look back. We can see here JackeyLove also keeping Yuyanjia safe, providing a lot of healing, and then unfortunately AHaHaCiK doesn't quite land the kick onto JackeyLove, so they can't kill him instantly, but he does get a big Q there, assisting him in getting that execute. You can see he got 800 gold on his back pocket, but unfortunately they already lost Boss in the top lane, so this numbers advantage was never going to be in their favor as 369 and Knight join the fray and help clean up the fight.
You see 369, Death Dance, Trinity Force complete. Also JackeyLove, Rapid Fire, Yumu's, Mura Mana fully stacked up.
It's
He's
just
even got an extra BF sword. Infinity Edge now complete on Knight. This is a massive deficit to be in if you're Unicorns. 25 minutes in, 9,000 gold behind, a Baron buff still with 2 minutes remaining, and one of the best split pushers in the game storming up this bottom lane.
Being in, but they want to fight, not split push, Medic.
369's going in, immediately slow with the Wall of Pain. Santos going to use the dredge line to get himself back underneath this tower. And I'll be honest, that TP kind of sucked a little bit.
It was a power play, Medic.
What, for the tier 1 and tier 2 in the mid lane?
Well, they pushed in bot and they were like, let's try and get a fight here. Fortunately for UOL, they're able to disengage. But yes, not quite the most optimal TP we've ever seen. I'm honestly a little surprised. I thought they would hold on to it for a little bit longer because top usually want to play through 2 lanes because Knight doesn't have the TP. But they're going to try and leverage JackeyLove's range to keep the poke coming through. Try and force UOL off the tower, but for the time being, UOL is standing firm. They're looking for a fight, 5v4.
Santos tried to get in there with the hook, but couldn't quite land on tonight. The Scatter of the Weak goes wide as well, and once again, the hook just at the edge, not able to connect onto any of the top esports players, and now top going to try and sync these waves. You can see the mid wave coming in. It's going to get that Baron buff enabled on it. 369 can rotate across, but Boss is actually going to dive on him. In the 1v1, I'm not sure you win. Gadget trying to put the Skittles down the lay waste, connecting. 369 forced away. Unicorns of Love losing their mid lane tier 3 as this happens. As Knight just chunks it down. Unicorns still standing firm for the moment, but 11,000 gold down. It's a very precarious position for them. Knight dives forward, exhausted straight away. The dredge line doesn't connect. Santos tries to get onto Knight, but there's the Devour, and immediately the Lucian spat back out, and he goes straight for the kill. 1 down, 2 to follow as AHaHaCiK falls. The third goes down as Gadget is also deleted from Summoner's Rift. Boss is flashing in, will land the kick to the back of the Lucian to get a counter kill for the Unicorns, but it's only Nomanz and Boss left alive.
Well, the Baron buff is about to run out. Top esports can make their way towards the Dragon off of this, or will they? Will they do it?
You got 2 seconds. It's more than enough time.
Oh, actually, well, okay. So the bigger thing is that there's still 15 seconds left on UOL. Okay, I didn't appreciate that. I thought that they would actually just go straight for the Drake. You know what? They're going to take the tower. They're going to take the... But this is just like very classic top esports. They always just take that little bit more, you know? And they're just like, you know what? Maybe it is a little greedy to take this, but we're going to take it anyway. Here we see Knight. I really like this play from Knight, largely because he knows he has the mobility and the protection from Yuyanjia as well, so that even if UOL is able to answer back, he's able to come out ahead and safely. He doesn't get the Camille ultimate, the Senna ultimate to keep him alive during the use of the Karthus ult.
So Santos and AHaHaCiK believe they have caught JackeyLove. What they don't realize is the only ambulance being called is for them, but here goes AHaHaCiK diving forward. JackeyLove should be able to get away, and AHaHaCiK still chasing him. 369 very low, and there's the shutdown. Unicorns, I thought they'd lost the fight, I thought they'd caught them out, but instead, top esports only able to trade a 1-for-1 in that battle.
Who's the ambulance actually for, Medic? Huh?
Yuyanjia
and 369.
Who knows? Yeah, it was for 369.
But this is the greed that I was talking about, by the way. They also took them out in Drake, and then the recalls got delayed. Nomanz, that's a moral victory right there. Yep. Stealing away the Scuttle Crab will allow Gadget to funnel a couple more creeps and farm into his back pocket. Of course, at this gold deficit, it's still very difficult for UOL to be able to turn this one around. But yeah, again, because they went for so many objectives, their recalls end up getting delayed. UOL recognize this, and they're able to actually find a pretty successful fight. JackeyLove misses the root, which then gives time for Santa to just soak up more damage. Nomanz then gets a big stun off of damage, and while they're not quite able to kill JackeyLove, they're able to get the kill down onto 369 and even use this flash at the back end of that as well. Ends up being 2-for-1 in favor of UOL, and given the position that they're in, they're going to be pretty happy with that.
Definitely take those in that sort of situation. JackeyLove just pinged over 60 stacks now, so has that enhanced range. Is in such a powerful position. Infinity, she's 4 items on this Senna. Compare that to Gadget, who is sitting on a measly 2. Liandry's and Luden's, very powerful items on the Karthus, but isn't going to be outputting that pure DPS that you want. You're looking for a death cap, or maybe actually even a Void Staff coming up next, it seems, with him having a blasting one in his inventory.
10k gold deficit right now. Top esports, they know that the bot inhibitor is exposed, and the teleport is coming back up for 369. So I think that they can actually just leave him bot, while the rest of top esports play around the Baron that's going to be spawning in 15 as they're going to look for picks. But good ward there from Santas, not going to get baited in. This is also the danger. They can't really walk into their half of the jungle because it does not belong to them anymore. They do need to clear out this mid wave. JackeyLove going to go catch that one right now. And this is the best opportunity that UOL will have to be able to move into their jungle, as top esports are a little split. But now that window is gone, as Knight and JackeyLove will look to regroup with their support jungle duo.
And they're going to start out the Baron straight away. 369 pushing in that bot lane. As you said, Vedius, he can stay down there until his team starts to fight. Has the teleport, can rejoin this fray at any moment. Actually looking for a flank position here. Yuyanjia on the front line. Top esports deciding to disengage. 369's in a good position to find the back line of the Unicorn.
Keep pushing bot though, Medic.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He should.
They are really committed to fighting this fight, but I'm like, you could just keep pushing bot, because then the moment you all split up, you can TP in. Like,
but which gives more gold? A minion kill or a champion kill?
I mean, true. That is a great point. Top Esports, they know exactly where Unicorns of Love are. Root going to come out from JackeyLove. Oh, 369 is now here.
Boss is down in the bottom lane. So 369 being here is just a little bit of bouncer duty for him. AHaHaCiK's trying to get in, but there is the explosive cast. AHaHaCiK uses the kick to try and disengage. 369 manages to do it, but the last embrace is going to hit onto Santos, and he is just swept off the face of Summoner's Rift by JackeyLove. Easy enough kill for Top Esports. Yuyanjia going in, all on his lonesome, but Nomanz and Gadget respecting the follow-up of Top.
Yes, and while I think UOL have been willing to skirmish, have gone for a lot of fights, this could be, never mind. I think that they've not really been able to compete with Top Esports. Every small mistake that they've made, Top Esports have been very quick to punish dramatically. And honestly, like, while I think their draft was creative, I think the Senna, the ultimate, actually does a great job of countering the Karthus ultimate, something that we didn't really talk about, but we've been seeing it multiple times throughout these fights. The cross-map power that JackeyLove's ultimate does provide has been instrumental in allowing Top Esports to come out ahead with the lead that they currently have. Now 12k gold lead, they're knocking on the Nexus doors. UOL have one last ditch effort.
There goes Karsa, and there goes Nomanz. Was found in no man's land there by Top Esports. The second kill comes down as Gadget is removed. And even through the Requiem, JackeyLove's able to survive in the stomach of Yuyanjia, and now the re-engage coming out from an AHaHaCiK trying to get onto Knight. Does manage to take one, but 369 is chasing Unicorns back onto their fountain. Top Esports 3-0 in their first 3 games, and they haven't even looked close. Vedius still undefeated as Boss dives in, but Top should just be able to close this one out. The Nexus will fall after they get their final kill. And Top Esports go into the second round robin undefeated.
Rim with ability to win games, but we saw them overextend for a couple of other objectives. It's what they like to do. They did a lot during the finals as well, and they always just like to test. They're like, oh, are you going to punish us for this? Are you going to challenge us for this? So they do make those mistakes, but you have to be willing to punish them, and that's part of what is so challenging, because even if you can, there's still a very aggressive team that will fight you to the death.
And one of those very aggressive players is our Oppo player of the game, 369. You said it, Vedi, near the start. Feels like he rolled a 9 in this game.
Yeah, he certainly did. Really good awareness in this 2 versus 1 in particular to know that he has a huge level advantage and he can beat the Lee Sin in the 1 versus 1. And then again with this dive, I think he and Karsa, their target selection was fantastic. They know exactly who to focus down, both piling onto Nomanz, not giving him that opportunity to play and getting that quick kill. This is really where the game swung in favor of Top Esports, and 369 became an unkillable monster, and we're going to get to see another great outplay from him. The problem is that this duo doesn't have the damage.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they have a lot of damage, but they can't kill him fast enough, and then Gadget shows up, and he's like, wait, I can't land any skill shots, and that ultimate from Senna as well, just helping him buy so much time. Beautiful stuff from 369. Very well done and very impressive Jax game from him today.
It really was. Worlds 2020, though, continues after the break where the LEC's Fnatic will load onto the Rift opposite LCK's Gen G.